money. I just wanna make all the money. I just wanna make all the money. I just wanna make all the money. I'll just sing the first verse again. The worst that could happen is always spontaneous combustion. I'll just sing the first verse again. I just wanna make all the money. I just wanna make all the money. I just wanna make all the money. That's amazing.
Hello and welcome once again to the HelloFi podcast from Lo-Fi Studios, situated in the heart of sunny Glasgow. Purveyors of recording and rehearsal facilities to suit every artist's needs. Give us a call on 0141 248 5050 or visit lofistudios.com to find out more. This week we've got Ryan Joseph Burns, former of the 17th century and now fantastic singer, songwriter, engineer and producer extraordinaire. And we talk about many things, which you will find out as we listen. And we begin.
Hello, 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 hello,
Yeah, you can get close, but, you know, don't suck it off or anything like that.
Well, it does, look slightly suggestive.
It's the shape of the RE20.
Yeah, I think it's the kind of the way it comes out at the end and stuff. It's. I'm just gonna get it a bit closer. I need to get the gravel in my voice and all that.
Well, it's what we would in the music trade call early.
It is early, aye. Well, I mean, it's really, really, really not. I mean, I'm late as well. Super late, but
Yeah. It's alright,
Yeah.
we've already started recording.
hey,
We've already started recording, so it's fine.
I've done that thing. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, just ease into it.
Yeah, just
You,
like.
you don't want to have this kind of, have we started yet? Are we going?
How do we start?
Oh no, and
So, my name's.
what's my name again?
There's going to be a lot of sipping noises. Actually, I just realised that.
We should probably also put the coffees on the floor.
Yes.
Because the mic's on the table and it's
You'll keep hearing that.
yeah.
Okay, right. Going after this. Sipping and slopping.
Yeah. Bezos Fafoon, that is my name. Bezos Fafoon.
Bezos Fafoon.
Bezos Fafoon.
I like that. I've been trying to think of a name for open mic. I liked what was the one you had the other night? Coke and Spite night.
Coke and Spite night.
I like that. It's. I was trying to think of one. I'm terrible at things like that. Like just coming up with things that rhyme with things. I actually ended up at one time I had an app on my iPad for like it was like Rhyme Zone or something like that, and it was like you're sitting there thinking of a word, but then it doesn't always. It just comes up with the words that have the same ending.
Yeah, and that's not always the best way to rhyme something.
Really just need like a vowel sometimes.
Yeah.
Or even your accent might actually provide a rhyme.
The number of times I've learned covers and you do the song and the way that you sing it, there's no rhyme whatsoever in it because your accent, you're not from Minneapolis or wherever the person that sang it was from.
I see this is the problem. Like I'm going through a moment just now where I realise I'm singing in it's kind of Americana music and stuff, so you sing in an American accent, but I kind of want to start involving a bit of a Scottish accent into it, but because it's a conscious decision to start doing that, it makes it a bit.
I did make a conscious decision.
Yeah, I think it's like, well, we're Scottish. Why would we sing in an American accent? You know what I mean? There needs to be something in there.
I'd say there's a very good reason why
Well,
many
yeah.
Scottish people sing American accents is that most of us grow up listening to predominantly American or Americanized music.
Yeah,
and
this is true.
from a young age, that's how you sing.
Yeah.
One of my earliest musical memories is my dad bringing home a giant Bruce Springsteen poster. Did you not turn your phone off?
I didn't turn my phone off. It's because we just eased into it.
I know.
I'm gonna do
Near
it
the
today.
I should probably put it on the, turn your phones onto flight safe mode.
I'll end up with doing that fantasy league. Just be constantly, although I don't seem to have a service down here, so but then that could be anyway.
Yeah, my dad had been to see
Bruce Springsteen on the Born in the USA tour at St James's Park in Newcastle, and my mum
Amazing.
wouldn't let him put the poster up in their bedroom, so it went into me and my brother's bedroom. So for like a few years, we had this picture of Bruce Springsteen's arse on our wall.
Yes. I mean, you can't be. I think Bruce Springsteen's like a strange one though, because you kind of listen to him sometimes, and I always like. I think maybe because I'm making a conscious effort to like, right, okay, I need to just, I'm a Scottish guy. I think even as well, like it's there's something about singing Americana in a Scottish accent. It's like, well, not many people do it. Well, maybe a lot of people do it. I don't really know, but yeah, I feel like it would, if say I was at some point, the dream came true and you're over in the States doing a tour and stuff like that, but you're singing their style of music in their accent. There's not really going to, they're just going to be like, oh, all right.
Why would we listen to that when we've got this wealth of it already here?
Yeah, guys who are singing in their own accent kind of thing. So I think, there's a bit of there's a marketing thing, I suppose, in there somewhere. I don't want to like start talking about stuff like that, but it's
Oh, the necessary evil of the music industry.
It's you've really got to just try and think about what's best for trying to make this shit work,
Yeah. And I suppose you've also got to think, what's the most honest representation of what you're doing?
That's a very good way to put it. I should have just said that at the start. It's like,
Yeah, because now you sound like a corporate whore.
Yeah, I say that, I'm just like, how am I going to make loads of money? And like, I just want to make all the money and just do that. So Scottish accents, that's it. No, but that is absolutely it. It's like, I think even like that saying, going over there and singing an American accent, I'd be speaking, it's not as if in between songs I'm going to be saying things in American accent.
Howdy, my
you know what I
name's
mean?
Ryan.
Exactly.
I'm from Scotland.
It's just not going to happen, is it? It's just like, so yeah, I just need to, an honest representation. It's confusing, I suppose, if I'm speaking in a Scottish accent and then singing and like with an American twang. It's not even like just an American accent. It's like you get some proper country vowels in there. You know what I mean? Darling, all that stuff.
I suppose it's kind of like going to see Slayer.
Well,
everything is like, and then it's like, hello, we're Slayer.
never understand it. Like literally, I don't mean that. I'm not like I know you quite like your metal and stuff.
I do have a place in my heart for
And
it.
I mean, I suppose there was a time in my life where that in high school I was like, whoa, but it was never really like, I could just never understand the screaming thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like for me, that was just something that was,
It's catharsis, man. It's pure catharsis. You have no idea how good it feels.
well, I suppose actually, I never even really thought about it like that. Like, it's just literally, let's just go on stage and just get all of the fucking anger out, like this,
Yeah. So you're not really that angry then? Not angry enough to warrant doing that?
No, I think like my songs are pretty chilled. You know what I mean? I think it's kind of like,
they are.
yeah, you got to kind of, I mean, I think for me it's more just like standing with my guitar and singing and to what I think is well, then I'm like, did a good job. I think that's catharsis for me. It's kind of like, I just,
You feel vindicated.
yeah, I think it's just kind of like I've done a good, this is what I love doing and I've just done it well. Good job.
Yeah.
Good times.
I know, I think I need to... I think I'm constantly expelling demons on stage.
You get a fair set of lungs on you anyway. That open mic sometimes it's just like you just know. I suppose like with certain songs you're like, right, this is the shouty bit.
Yeah.
So you start bringing down that fader and you're just like,
The number of times I've gone back to the desk and like when I've been doing it with Louis and Louis, the vocals are just right down.
Yeah.
It's like, am I that loud?
I mean, even to the point though sometimes where like you can bring it so far down and it starts not making a difference because you need to start bringing it down the monitor. But then it's not really a bother if it's in the monitor because it's just you're shouting at basically at that point.
Mm-hmm.
But everyone else can still hear it. I never bring it right down, but sometimes it's like, it's not, I mean, it's great because if folk, you do that thing where, I think I was actually speaking to the guy the other night, like, you go so loud, but then it just like, it's like falling off a cliff, especially in Arcade Fire. Train of Love.
Yeah.
That bit where
I
you
like
just
doing that.
shout it right out and then it just drops. But then that people like kind of, it surprises people, so they just kind of go, oh, and just like start listening again,
It's
kind of
just
thing.
how I like to do things. I like singing like super
Dynamic.
super soft and super like low, getting these low tones in my voice right out
Yeah.
that have been accentuated by years of bad living, and then just going hell for leather with it.
Yeah, man. And I think I used to do it. See, when I first started writing songs, I had bits in the songs where it was like, right, I'm going to shout these out. But I would say of the gigs that I played, say I played with these songs anyway, say I played maybe 20 gigs with these songs. I would say like 19 times out of the 20 times, the shouting bits just ended up like a warbling mess. Just kind of like, and it was always, you right, you know, when you first start writing songs, you start writing songs that are like far too high for you to sing. So when it gets to the high note, or did you always...
I always erred on the side of caution to the point where covers always sounded better.
Yeah.
Not just because they were better songs. I mean, that was part of it.
Yeah,
but, you know, I just... It wasn't until the last few years I've been able to write melodies that were...
Yeah, they kind of hit your peak.
Yeah,
or beyond.
really only with the band now.
Yeah.
Am I doing that kind of stuff?
I think, yeah, I mean, even like when we were playing in the 17th century, like a lot of my parts were just like you had to, you know, the cornet playing a melody and instrumentals, and you would have the violin. So I decided that, well, I don't play cornet or violin, and I've got the guitar in my hands, so I can't do any of that stuff. So I'll just start singing melodies, just like oohs and ahs. But ended up it was just me. So it was just a cornet, violin, and then me just going, ah. But that actually, like, it got to the point where like I would just belt those things out, because it would get to the end of the song, and obviously when you're playing it live, it might be mellowed when you're recording it or you're doing it in the rehearsal studio, but you're playing it live, that bit's going to end up getting pretty loud.
Oh yeah.
So you end up just shouting, which is like, again, I suppose that's where I would understand that, you know, screaming on stage. Like I did actually, there's a video somewhere of me shouting, like actually just screaming. But
I need to find that.
I'm pretty sure, it was in Holland. The first time we went to Holland, first gig we played in Holland actually. I was like,
Just super excited.
well, like so it was in Utrecht, and we'd arrived the night before, and we went to see a show in Amsterdam, a guy called Tim Canol playing in Amsterdam, in the Paradiso. And it was, I just loved, it was an amazing venue. It's like I can upstairs in Moore, but like just so much bigger, and like meant just for gigs kind of thing. But then so the next day it was good, you know, we'd kind of nice introduction. I still hadn't tried the, you know, the local legality of the green, of the green kind. But yeah, so I think actually a couple of guys arrived the next day that were playing shows as well, and they arrived, they stopped off in Amsterdam for like an hour, went into a coffee shop obviously, and stocked up basically. I don't know if they didn't think you could get it in Utrecht or something, but they just had loads. So we were sitting about 2-3 hours before the show, and I had a couple of draws. I was like, well, you know, I'm in Holland, I'll give it a, you know, see how this stuff tastes. And I'm pretty sure I was still like at maybe 12 o'clock. This was maybe like 3 o'clock. No, maybe 5 in like evening time, and the show wasn't till like 8. And I'm pretty sure I was still, there was points where I forgot to like stop playing guitar, and like I was, oh no, I'm meant to be singing here actually, right, okay, I better sing, and you just kind of get lost. And it's good because like it's not like I didn't do anything wrong, but I kind of get lost in it a bit, and it was a bit of a strange experience, like all over. So
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely not to in any way condone the
No.
use of
no, absolutely not. But it was legal there.
narcotics. Of course,
It was legal there.
My problem was, I think I once was under the influence of said substance on stage, and was in the middle of a chorus and completely forgot whether I was supposed to be going into the second or third verse. Just had no concept of time of how long anything was going on, and it scared the shit out of me. I was just like,
I mean, I applaud people who
really
can do it.
shouldn't do that
Yeah.
again.
I mean, I suppose maybe you get used to it, but I just don't see how like it's even humanly possible to do that. Like,
I find it very restrictive on the throat as well.
oh yeah, well, big time. Yeah,
Not,
it's
not
like,
a good idea. I like
No.
to have a couple of beers before I go on stage,
Yeah.
but
I mean, there's time in, you know, Block where do they even still do Balkan and Block?
Yeah, they
Yeah.
still do the Balkans and Block.
But it's not as big a thing as it used to be. It was like I remember when they first got
Well, I
it
think
in.
it was the excitement of it, and I was like, this stuff can kill you.
Yeah. Oh God. That was like every Sunday it would be getting in there, and then it would hit maybe like 1 a.m, and people would be like, we're doing it. Let's do it. And I remember, I think I got up, I had 3 or something this night, which in itself is not a good idea. I don't condone that either.
Yeah, but you're never doing Balkans when you've not had anything else to drink.
Oh yeah. No. Well, we did actually once. Actually, I think it was my pal's 21st birthday or something. We went into Block and to start the night off, we thought, let's go into Block and we'll get a Balkan and a half pint of Guinness. So we did exactly that. And we were walking. I think we were going to Sub Club this night, and we were walking down to what's the place, Crystal Palace or something.
Yeah.
I said, walking down there and walking down Hope Street, just kind of or whatever street it was, doesn't matter. We were walking just halfway down, and we all started just kind of going, "Oh my God, I feel kind of drunk after a shot and half a pint of Guinness." And by the time we got to Crystal Palace, I'm pretty sure I was like just drunk in general. Just like I could just feel it, because like you never really feel that kind of just instantaneous like.
It creeps up on you.
Yeah, it's like it doesn't have. Maybe took about like 20 minutes or something, and then all of a sudden it was just like, oh, well, okay. Then that Balkans appeared.
For anyone that doesn't know what we're talking about, Balkans are a vodka shot that are something like 88% or something like that, ridiculous like that. Quite popular in Bar Block, where I think they first brought them into Glasgow, and they're ludicrous. There's absolutely no need for them.
Yeah. No, I mean it is like the most pointless drink.
I mean, it's foul.
Yeah, it's a night ending drink. Well, sometimes it was a night ending drink. So, but I had 3, right? So I had 3 just because you're saying you forgot which verse you were in. So I think I went up and sang "Go Your Own Way" because I'd maybe been learning it the week before or something. So I was like, right, I've got them sing that. That's good. I'll get the folks singing, and I sang the first verse, sang the chorus. Forgot the words for the second verse, and then like this is all I'm narrating this obviously while I'm on stage. I'm like, oh, I forgot the second verse. I'll just sing the first verse again. Forgot the first verse. I can't remember what the first verse was.
He had just sang moments earlier.
Literally forgot the whole song. So I just sat singing the chorus over and over again for I don't know, about 3 minutes or something like that, until you could just see Louis standing at the back, just like, right, I think we're good. That was great, man. Thanks. I think we're done here.
We've all done it though.
Oh, yeah. That's the beauty of the Block Open Mic Night, isn't it?
Yeah. Although I think my worst one wasn't in Block. It was another one that Louis was running a number of years ago, where I'd turned up pissed and free wine from some event or other, and played a song, and for some reason thought that it was capoed on the 5th fret.
Oh God.
Which it was not.
Before.
It wasn't capoed anywhere. So I'm switching between singing it an octave higher and an octave lower.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Oh, it was
can just imagine
abysmal. But did I stop and
No.
go, let me just sort this situation out? Like halfway through the first verse, I knew it was wrong, but
Yeah.
I just kept plowing through it.
So normally it's like the first line, you're like, or even the first note, you're like, oh, wait a minute. I think I've done something wrong here. But then I suppose when you're like that intoxicated, you're just like, what's the worst that could happen? And then the worst happens.
And then
The worst happens.
Well, you don't spontaneously combust, so in my book, that's a win.
Well, yeah, that's very true. The worst that could happen is always spontaneous combustion.
I think so. I think now that we're already like 15, 20 minutes in, I should do the... I'm sitting here with Mr. Ryan Joseph Burns.
Yeah.
I was going to do it like shortly after we started. But
Conversation
then
just happened,
it just
though.
kind of flowed. And there'll be a wee intro to it anyway,
Yeah.
so yeah, it's cool. Mr. Ryan Joseph Burns, a musician and producer and engineer and all-round talented bloke.
I have spread my... whatever. I'm not...
Wings.
Yeah, I was going to say wings. Yeah, seed, yeah, maybe. More recently, I suppose, producer and stuff like that, but up until... I think Shambles Miller's EP was the first I did.
Mm-hmm.
That was good fun. Well, you played in that, actually.
I did play in that, yeah.
Forgot about that.
I was actually just chatting about that just before I met you, because I bumped into Neil Slorence.
Ah, I genuinely don't even think. I think I've maybe bumped into him once or twice, but I've never actually had a proper conversation with that guy, and I've never actually told him how much I think his artwork's like shit hot.
It really is,
it's
isn't it?
amazing.
Well, I was speaking to him, and we're going to get him in to do a podcast in the next few weeks.
Yeah, amazing.
So that's going to be really good.
Yeah, that'd be great.
He's just coming off a particularly successful Comic-Con.
We'll call it like as in
The one in there was the
SCCC?
Yeah.
I've never went up there. I always see it's on, and like I kind of want to.
I was supposed to go with my son, but then things happened and I couldn't go.
Yeah.
And then he went with I think some of his pals from school, and sent me loads of pictures of, without telling me that he'd gone, just sent me loads of pictures of strange objects. I was like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, it's my haul from Comic-Con.
Oh, yeah.
And then there was a photograph of one of Neil's books, signed by Neil. It's like, oh, you went and saw Neil. I was like, did you tell him that I was your dad? It's like, well, no, but he asked my name and I told him, and he's like, oh, you're Jamie.
Oh, so I knew, huh?
Yeah.
That's good, man.
Well, Neil was very nice and did a bit of artwork for him
Oh, really?
when Matthew got into his Dungeon Fun comic. He did a wee thing, gave me it. He just sent me it a couple of days later with a frame and everything, so Matthew's got that. He's big into that. But we'll talk about Neil Lawrence on Neil Lawrence's podcast.
Yes, sorry.
So let's, but that's brings on the Shambles Miller
Yeah.
EP,
Mm-hmm.
where he does the song for Neil.
He does, yeah. It's a beautiful song, actually.
That was the one I played on.
Oh yeah. No, that guitar part is just like when you because I remember you kind of described it to me before we went to Shambles Flat that day, but it was when you actually started playing it, it was like, oh, holy shit, this is going to totally work. 'Cause when you first said it was all the reversed stuff, I was like, it's like just a straight waltz song, but then you started playing it and I was like, oh.
It's ambience more than anything else.
Yeah, no, but it sounded. I mean, it's the fact you were playing like a beat before the.
Yeah, because it was it's a reverse delay,
Yeah.
and I turned the clean signal entirely off. You tap the tempo in, but you have to change chords a beat early,
Yeah.
because you don't get any signal through until the actual delay starts.
That's a bit of a mind fuck there, isn't it? It's just
Yeah.
like, ugh. But yeah, no, it was amazing. That's it was a good experience actually doing, because it was like it was kind of the perfect introduction to like, producing people's records, because it was so simple. It was just like Shambles had said that he wanted it to be like as basic as possible, but you know, with enough kind of substance to it that it warranted, you know, calling it like what a production, I suppose, in general.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was really his songs are great as well.
Oh, they're fantastic. He did a good job being able to, balance everything out, with Shambles being almost entirely unable to play and sing separately.
No, that will see that it only like, posed some problems, because it was like we did it. It was while I was obviously studying at SAE, so I had to, had the Neve and some amazing Neumann mics and stuff. So I thought, right, we'll get Shambles in and we'll record. I kind of had it set up so that we could do either vocals first or sorry, guitar first then vocals, or if you wanted to do the two of them together, that was fine. But if he was sitting down, it would have been a lot easier to kind of keep everything the same. Because he was standing up, he just like ended up having to like make a mark on the ground, and it was like stand roughly here. But then if he's moving at all, there was two guitar mics, and it changes the volume between the two, so therefore changes the phase relationship and then the sound. And yeah, so there's a bit of like you're like EQing certain things, and it gets to the point that you're like, no, actually that really doesn't. So you're EQing for one song, and you're like, well, it was exactly the same setup for the next song. So I'll just like, this is just right at the very early stages after we've recorded them all. I'll EQ them, trying to make them sound good, send them off to Campbell, and then we can he can decide which takes he liked best and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, it was slightly more complicated than I thought it would be. I thought it was like, yeah, this is going to be so much easier, because it just means that that's just one thing. But then
Each song he moves differently, and
yeah, it was just like, but it was the smallest of differences, but that had a massive effect on trying to, like, I mean, even Warriors, which is amazing. But obviously we had to do it again that day in his flat, and
Yeah.
just because the guitar, we couldn't get the guitar to sound big enough, and I don't know if it was maybe the mics that I'd chosen to use actually.
Well, I would contest that it's shambles shitty guitar.
It's a pretty, yeah. It's like, I wouldn't say I really like it. It's like one of those. It looks amazing.
Oh, it looks amazing because it's all painted and
Yeah.
everything, but the guitar itself is a piece of shit.
Yeah, it's like
I hate
it's not
it so much.
It's not the best sounding. It is pretty thin.
Yeah.
It's
The only guitar
Yeah.
I've ever hated more than that was when I played in Silent Forest and Squirrel's guitar, which was very similar. It was a Yamaha APX,
Yeah.
and I fucking hate those guitars. You know, Yamaha have made some nice acoustic guitars, but
Yeah.
those are not them.
no. I've only ever played. I think we used to have in fact we still do. We have got a Yamaha acoustic. It's one of those ones that's probably up in a loft somewhere, and it's just not. It's not been used, but no, I always find it strange. Like you kind of, there's not many guitars that I've played where I've been like, that's a shit guitar. Like most guitars, you're kind of like, yes,
I can make do with this.
yeah, it's it does the job. But yeah, when you play a shit guitar, it's like, good lord,
Yeah.
what did they do to this guitar to make it sound this way?
The only acoustic wise, the only other guitar I've ever played that was as shit as that, in a completely different way,
Yeah,
and it was really surprising. It was when I went to buy the guitar I've got,
yeah,
and I was trying out guitars, and it was a 70s Gibson acoustic that they were selling for like 800 quid.
that's pretty amazing.
You know, that's a
Yeah,
substantial amount of
that's
money to
pretty
put into a
amazing.
guitar, especially,
Yeah.
you know, I was like 18, 19.
Yeah,
And my dad was paying for it. And I strummed one chord on it, and I was like, nah,
no,
that's horrible.
Yeah.
Just the feel of it, the sound of it,
I think
everything
you
was
always find
wrong
the-
with it.
like the action as well, and the older guitars as well always seems like. I mean, I suppose you can get that fixed and stuff. You can get it set
I
up.
thought
and
they would have
everything,
fixed it before they put it out for sale.
but- Yeah, I know.
It wasn't like I was going to some, you know, guy off the Tron Gate or something
Yeah,
like that,
I
or
know,
going
I
to
know.
buy it through a
That is
private
like-
ad, you know,
yeah.
it was in a shop.
Yeah, it's yeah. There's a certain thing. I think it all depends on. I found more recently the size of the neck, so that actually like maybe not the actual length or anything of it, but
The width.
yeah, just like how well, like, because I've got quite, I realised recently I've got quite small hands. You know, that like wrapping your thumb around to, you know, play the bass notes on the E string. That I just can't do that unless it's like a D chord, but even still I struggle to do that. So, yeah, I really like, the Taylor that I've got's got a really thin neck. And
I think most tailors do.
Yeah.
Mine's got quite a thin neck. It's not quite as thin as yours, but it's still
yeah, I
pretty
mean,
thin.
but this is just like, it's kind of off-puttingly thin at first though, because it doesn't have the actual, like the way the neck joins the body. It doesn't have, you know, normally you've got the bit that kind of curves out at the end, and it's
Yeah, the heel.
yeah, it doesn't have that. It just goes like straight into the guitar.
Like one of the old Echo
Yeah.
Italian guitars.
Yeah,
with
and
the
it's just
bolt-on
got like
necks.
2 screws on the actual
Yeah.
like neck itself, like into the guitar. And it's not as if it's like, you know, it means I can get right up and play some solos up there and stuff, because I can't really play solos in the first place, and especially not on an acoustic guitar. But yeah, Taylor, I've got to the point now where I've played them for so long that I'm like,
Likewise. I mean,
That's
I've
my guy.
I've had mine for 15 years.
yeah,
Uh,
that's just
it's so good.
yeah. I just like, I can't actually remember the last time I played a gig with someone. Oh no, wait, no. I feel like I'm surprised at how many people have Taylors. Like, I feel like when I first had a Taylor, everyone had a Martin. Like, it was always like a Martin or a Takamine or something like that. But yeah,
I remember I got my Taylor, and within a couple of years, I was absolutely raging at Taylor, because when I got mine, they didn't do like the baby Taylor or the big baby or anything like that.
yeah,
If you had a Taylor, you had a fucking Taylor.
yeah.
And I had a 400 series. I have a 400
Yeah.
series, and that was like the lowest it went. That
Yeah.
was the entry level.
Yeah.
It was still expensive.
Yeah.
Stupidly expensive. And then
Yeah,
a guy I was
these
at
other
college
ones.
with came in with like a 300 series that had just been released, which was, you know,
I think
a
I've
bit
got
cheaper.
I think mine's is a 3. you got it years ago. I can't actually remember how we got it. It just appeared one day. It was just like, I think it's my dad's, like, really, actually, a few of my guitars actually are my dad's guitars. I'm trying to think, the only guitar that's actually really, I have two guitars. I have a horrible acoustic that I've had for about 10 years. And I have an Epiphone Casino. But other than that, I think actually, technically speaking, they're all my dad's. He buys guitars and then he doesn't, like, he kind of stopped playing. And I was always just play them in the house kind of thing. And then it got to the point that I was doing this as a profession. So I was playing the guitar quite a lot. And then I would spend a bit of money on them and stuff. So I just kind of, I suppose, just stole the guitar off my dad. I was just like, I'll be having that. That's a nice guitar, I'll have that.
I wish I had that option.
Yeah.
That would have been really nice.
Yeah, it's just like, I just kind of had, like, I am, like, so fortunate in that I basically just had, like, a pick of loads of guitars. But my dad's got a guitar that he's had for about 30 years now. It's an old Martin copy. I think it's a Sigma or something. And it sounds great. It's like quite a big body, really kind of, quite a beefy tone, actually, like, really kind of quite heavy in the, like, low end. But when it's set up, it sounds great. It sounds really amazing. I just love guitars. Just like pure love guitars.
We could probably spend the rest of this podcast talking about guitars.
But Shambles Millers.
Let's get back to the story.
So his guitar was pretty. I just needed to start using. I've realised after that first session that I should use a mic that really kind of brought up some of the lower end, if any, if it was even present in that guitar. But it ended up sounding great. It ended up sounding really good. So, we used some organs to try and add in, again, some low end to it and stuff without really kind of being like, oh, that's an organ. It was just more like a kind of bass, almost just like a bed for the whole thing to kind of lie on, and
almost like kind of just like the pedals.
Yeah, quite literally. Like, I mean, if I had a proper organ, it probably would have just been the pedals. But I could put organ on everything. But I think I get to the point where I'm like, I just need to hold back. And even sometimes I think as well, like so using organ as like the bass, it's it does really work for certain things if you just want to fill out the sound. Yeah,
just filling that bottom end without being intrusive.
Yeah, it's not like you don't really know what it is, you just know that there's something there, and in the choruses, you can add in like a wee, fifth harmony chord up the top. Or, I just add in a full, like, it's organ.
Phantom of the Opera.
Yeah, like just go for it, get the whole B3 sound or C3 or whatever. I don't actually know. I just feel like I sit sometimes looking at the different presets for organs and I'm like, they've got all the different, like the flute and string.
Have you seen the new electroharmonics pedals that make your guitar sound like an organ?
No. But you might have just changed my life in that last sentence.
Yeah.
Wow.
There's three. There's the B9, the C9, and then there's one called the Key 9, which is actually more kind of vintage electric pianos and stuff like that. Worley's clavs and that kind of thing. And
so you totally do like Rhiannon, like you were playing the other night, and just make it sound like
you could. Yeah, but and of course it's got like a blend control on it, so you can have like organ and
that's dangerous
and guitar and stuff like that. I was looking at them and I was very tempted.
I don't have enough. Like, I mean, it's the same with any equipment really, isn't it? Like, I just don't have enough pedals. I've got
you never have enough pedals.
Yeah, I have like one multi-effects pedal, and I suppose I don't do enough at the minute to justify going out and buying loads of guitar pedals. I don't really play electric guitar ever, and if I do, I've got the multi-effects guy that it does everything I need it to. Mm-hmm. While not sounding great, it's in like ME25, a Boss ME25, and it does do the job. But you get a really weird screech from kind of multi-effects pedals, like that just comes.
That's the sound of the soul of the guitar leaving the body.
Yeah,
and not making its way to the amp.
Yeah, it's just I never realised it until like I actually used it. It's like just this horrible like. Yeah, it's just like the guitar's just going like that. What are you doing to me, man? It's digital. It's just like everything's just going like this sound of the guitar is passing through basically just circuit boards.
Yeah,
Rather
and
than-
it's like no matter whether you got everything switched off, it's still passing through the whole thing.
Yeah, exactly. So this is the thing, because I really want, actually the only thing I want in the minute, I don't want any pedals other than just a volume pedal. I just want a volume pedal because I want to get that kind of pedal steel sound sometimes. You know, we're like halfway through a bend, you're like
Yeah.
doing
yeah.
a
Did
wee,
I-
like volume guy and stuff.
Yeah, I did a lot of that kind of stuff. I did a tour with American last, and it was
Yeah.
all like almost the entire set was
Yeah.
just.
You need that. I just think that sound. It's like, see when you hear that, like, and it's really reverby and stuff. So I suppose with that I would need a reverb pedal as well.
Oh yeah,
So
of course. Or you could do what I do and have like multiple reverb pedals that you can just have like tons of them on.
yeah, it's like a bit of reverb, quite a lot of reverb, just fucking ridiculous reverb. Like just
Well,
where's the guitar?
I've got one that I have set to like no dry signal whatsoever.
Yeah,
So that when you hit it, it just goes. There's a wee pause. It goes.
amazing. When it's like a
So much fun.
yeah, that's just yeah. I just reverb and volume pedal. That's all I need.
Yeah.
Just all I need in my life just now.
Yeah,
to-
but then see if you get a reverb and a volume pedal at some point, a couple of weeks after you get that, you'll be like, you know what, I could probably use a wee bit of delay on here, and then
Bit of crunch.
They'll be like, something missing. Maybe I needed 2 different types of delay. Maybe I should have my nice tap tempo digital
Yeah.
delay, and maybe get a nice wee analog delay.
I'm gonna need to just like save up for ages. My girlfriend's just gonna be like, we're just never ever gonna buy a house. It's just gonna be like, I spent all of my deposit savings on guitar stuff and microphones probably.
Yeah.
I see cheap microphones as well. I can't help myself. See when I see a microphone and I'm like, I see it's got pretty good reviews, but it's like under £100. I'm like, oh,
It's
I
under
should maybe
£100. I should probably get it.
I should really, you know what I mean? Like, what's the worst? I guess, well, this only like 80 quid, you know, and just like, and then basically it just sits for weeks, and I'm like, I can't use that on anything. Like, I mean, it's like drum overhead mics and stuff like that, and I'm like, I could try and use them on an acoustic guitar, but it's just not going to sound that good. And yeah, it's like, how often am I recording drums? Not very often. I've recorded drums once, I think, outside of like the uni. So,
One of my favourite pedals that I don't own, but I would really like to own, but I would need to also buy a bigger pedal board, is the Seymour Duncan. I've got an analog delay called the Vapor Trail,
yeah,
and you can have it set up to like do the whole kind of feeding back on itself thing.
amazing.
But it's also got a send and return on the pedal.
Shit.
You're quite excited by this,
Yeah.
aren't you?
Yeah,
So you can have your own separate pedal chain that only affects the delay.
that's pretty amazing.
And I checked this. You can actually set up. I got a wee cheap Bespeco volume pedal,
Right.
which also works as an expression pedal.
Uh-huh.
So if you just hook your stereo cable into from the expression output on the pedal into because it's a single send return,
Then you kind of control the
you control the volume of the
delay.
delay. So you can just have it on the whole time, like ramped right up.
And you just
And then
bring
right
it
at the end of the song, you just hit the chord and just swell it in, and this thing just starts going.
That's amazing.
Isn't
This
it?
is what I see, the volume pedal. I just think you can do so much with just a volume pedal. You know.
There's a lot you can do.
Yeah. I'm going to think after this. I'm going to maybe take a stroll down to a guitar retail place and have a.
I might join you
and have a-
'cause
and have a
I
look.
can always do the research. Do you know what I think the worst thing is for gear acquisition syndrome is things like Gumtree and your various Facebook groups of people selling
Oh,
stuff,
yeah.
because I could sit all day and scroll through them and just be
Yeah.
like, should I buy that?
Yeah, I've
Should I
done
buy
like
that?
especially that was it
Music gear buy and sell. Yeah.
Glasgow and Edinburgh. Oh god, I can literally because you get a notification saying like one of your friends has posted something up, but then you never see what your friend actually posted up. You just like sit and look through what everyone else has posted up, and you're like, oh, wait a minute, actually.
Well, I've had mixed experience with that because I like selling stuff on it.
Yeah,
Put a bass up.
gone. Wow, Amazing.
put my amp up that I really need to sell,
Yeah, and it's
and it's been
ain't going
sitting
nowhere.
there. Ain't going
I
nowhere.
think I seen you
Yeah.
posted that up, kind of thing.
If anyone wants to buy a Laney Ironheart 21260 watt all valve combo, you know, give us a bell.
Good plug, man. Good
Thanks,
plug.
man.
I like that. I like
Right,
that.
away from me, on to you.
Sorry, we were talking about Shambles Miller.
Yes.
Yeah, no, it was just great. Like, really, just it's, for me, it was just like the perfect way to kind of introduce myself to, like, producing a record as a whole, kind of thing, and trying to get an overall sound rather than just, you know, got one song that needs to sound good.
Mm-hmm.
You want to kind of you've got to start thinking, well, we've got that in there, so, you know, you don't really want them all to sound the same. You want them all to be relatively coherent as a.
You want it to sound like a full.
Yeah, but you want each
A full
song to
body
have
of
its
work.
own thing as well. You know, it needs to kind of rise and fall almost, which it
Kinda
did. I think it definitely
the
did.
flow of I think the flow of a record is something that it's not a lost art,
Yeah,
but it's
but yeah,
certainly
like-
in the pop world it's a much
Oh, yeah.
maligned.
Yeah, because these days it's just like single, 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 single. Maybe just a filler track, single, single,
Mhm.
single, single, and then like within a year, every month they're releasing like every song off the album, and it's like, well, that's never going to go well if every song is the hit single, you know.
Yeah.
So
And I think also because of the way that the industry seems to be working, is bands don't. You know, a lot of bands do like make EPs and albums and
Yeah,
stuff,
yeah.
but bands that are thinking, right, we want to be
of a
of a
that,
certain
of
kind
that,
of pop
yeah.
kind of, or we want the things to be on like Radio 1 and stuff like that. They, you know, they work away for like a year, year and a half, 2 years.
Yeah,
even. And they craft these songs, and then they put everything into this one song
Mm.
to
Yeah.
get that the radio play, to get that
Yeah,
the
yeah,
video
it's
play. It's their calling card.
Yeah.
And then they'll have like another one a wee bit later, and then eventually the album comes out. But they're using those. Well, that's making weird noises.
Mind is off.
Mine's is on airplane mode.
Don't matter.
Anyway. Yeah, and then you get the album, and
Yeah, it
eventually,
gives,
eventually. And, you know, it is a fair way of working, but I would get so fucking bored doing that.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, I
being
think
like,
it's
this
like-
is the song that we're pushing, this is where we have to play it
Yeah.
everywhere we go all the time.
I can understand it to a certain extent. Like, if you know you have this body of work and then you're listening to them at a certain stage, maybe, you know, just in pre-production, you've got all the songs, you're listening to them, and you go. Because I suppose you need to think, like, you know, do we want to put a song? Are we wanting radio play and stuff? Which really, yeah, you are wanting some kind of
Oh,
radio
absolutely, yeah.
play. So you're like, well, we need to find the song out of. You don't want to like try and craft a song that so that it's like, oh, this is the radio song. Like, we need to write a radio song.
Mm-hmm.
If you so happen to write a song that like is going to work as the kind of promotion single kind of thing, like that's, you know, the single you release with the album, and it's, you know, most, you don't want to say like commercial. I don't really think that's the word. I think it's basically just like if that's the song that you think sums up the album best and also works well for radio, then yeah, go for that. But don't. Yeah, I totally agree that you shouldn't try and write a song and go like, oh right, we need to write that, you know, that radio single. Again, it's just, if you have it, use it.
Well,
If you don't,
if you think about how many bands over the years, and it's not just a new thing, I think I'm just seeing it more in smaller bands because it's much more financially viable to go in and record one song really well than it is to go in and do like an EP, and you're maybe not going to get the sound quite as good because you can't afford to pay X number of, you know, £100 or £1,000
yeah,
to make each track sound like that. So
Yeah,
you do
exactly,
one
yeah.
track and you just like absolutely try and knock it out the park.
yeah, totally.
So I get that, but then if you look at how many albums over the years, I mean, even going back to the 80s and 90s, where you would have the radio song, the big hit, the
Yeah.
single, and everyone's like, that's really, that's fantastic,
Yeah.
that's great.
And you listen
And
to
then you
this
get the album, and the album not only sounds nothing like that song,
It's not
it's
even on it.
shit.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
it's,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
just a shit record.
You just get that song sitting at number 2 because you're like, or track 2 and you're like, there's that song. So you listen to the first one, because then the next one, especially with vinyl, I suppose it works. You have to listen to, if you put it in somewhere in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
It means, although a lot of the time I suppose you wouldn't really have some of the songs would be like the first track, you know, like a Rolling Stone, Bob Dylan, and you would have, Bob Dylan's a good one for having like the name of his album, or the title track of the album is the first track on the album, and then it's almost like everything else is, like John Wesley Hardin I find hilarious, because like every song, like the name of every song is also the first line of every song. It's like the first couple of words of every song. So I don't know if that might not be like 100% true, but like just Bob Dylan, and it's just like the guy just.
So we decided the band said to fuck things up a little bit, where because it's a kind of a concept record.
Yeah.
There's songs that reference the title of other songs.
I like that.
So people might think, oh, that's that song.
Yeah.
But no, that's not. That's talking about what happens in that
Yeah,
song.
yeah. That's cool.
But that's the song
I
with
like
that
that.
name. And then people are like, oh, can you play that one? And you play it, and they're like, that's not the one I wanted.
That's hilarious. That's clever though. Like that is like.
just like fucking with people.
Yeah.
It's fun, and if you can't get any fun out of it, what is the point?
But if that is the, you know, if people who are going to listen to your music understand that, then that's the thing you want to do. You know what I mean?
It's prog. We're not exactly going to be getting 12-year-old girls.
Conform to lines, man. It's just like fuck with shit. If you think it's going one way, we're going to take it another way. I like that, man.
It is fun.
Yeah.
It is fun, I have to say. What do you want to talk about next? Because normally I would have like a list of stuff to talk about, but I decided not to do that.
Nah, that's cool.
Because I thought, well, we'll just see what.
Well,
I'm sure there was something that came into my head earlier on, but it's gone.
I just finished. I literally sent the final mixes off of Tommy Daly's new EP.
That was it.
Yeah, it's literally just finished. We finished it last Friday, and I sent it to the mastering engineer on Sunday. So that's all. It sounds amazing. I mean, it's a completely different style and everything to Shambles. Like, it was the kind of, again, the perfect kind of logical next step for me in production, because it was a much more full record. I mean, it had drums on most tracks, and kind of a lot of them had to be quite lush because, just almost, it was a lot shinier, I think is maybe the word. But at the same time, it had enough of a kind of grit to it that I wasn't sitting there like, oh, this is kind of, just sounds like, you know, shiny video stuff. It was like the songs were great, and we really didn't want to take away from that by just making them sound like big kind of pop record kind of stuff.
Keep the honesty and the
I think
integrity
like,
just in there.
Yeah, the lyrical content was like Tommy's a great songwriter, and his melodies and everything, like that was kind of like, we wanted to make sure that was the focus, but at the same time we wanted to really try and beef up quite a lot of the songs. And actually, I suppose that a lot of the stuff, there was a kind of element to it, like we were just talking about there about radio. Like, we knew that one of the songs was going to be released. I think it's getting released in Germany first. I'm not entirely sure about the politics of like what's happening with the record, but it will be released, I would imagine, before the end of the year. I think it's getting released over there sometime next month. Yeah, we're not in October. Okay. So in October.
See, this podcast might not go out for another sort of
in October
month.
In October of 2015, the record will definitely be out in Germany, or at least a handful of the songs will be out in some form or another. But yeah, there was a lot, because it's like, it was a publishing. We had publishing in mind when we were making a lot of the songs, so we knew that they had to work in a kind of, again, I don't want to use the word commercial, but I suppose maybe commercial is the word. But we didn't want to totally. I feel like everything I've said here is just contradicting myself. The record sounds great. It really does. Like, I'm so happy with how it finished. Yeah. And it was so much fun making. We had, like, my mum and dad live out in this big old house in just outside Cumbernauld in Dulter, and that's what I've got my studio set up in there. And I mean, it's goes up and down and stuff, but I'm just kind of trying to set it up. It's a really great big front room with bay windows and stuff, and you look out onto the campsites and everything. And
That sounds beautiful.
yeah, the hall's like, it's all. Always say this. It's like it is a marble, like floor and stuff, and there's like some marble in the walls and stuff. But it's not. It doesn't like that makes it sound like
super fancy.
yeah. It's not really. I mean, it's all like the house is lived in. I mean, it's like the floors are. As my mum would absolutely kill me if I was like talking down there. It's beautiful. It really is. It's pretty grand. But anyway, we've got this rug in the middle of the hall, and ever since I started kind of recording stuff, I was like, I need to record drums in this hall. Like, it just has to be done. I just think it would sound amazing. And finally, with Tommy's record, we had a week where I think my parents were away. So basically, I got the guys. We all just went out to the house, and we all we stayed there for a week basically. And Gordon Turner, actually, guitarist extraordinaire, apparently plays drums as well. Who knew? And he's a shit hot drummer as well. Like, you know, it's one of the. We're spoilt for choice for guitarists in Glasgow, but he's an amazing guitarist. So you kind of think to yourself, well, if he's that good at that instrument, what's the chances of him? But then apparently, actually, a lot of his work these days is on drums. So he came out and played drums, and we set them up in the hall. And we just kind of like, I knew roughly where we would put mics and everything, just from, you know, general knowledge for making up drum kits. But we put a couple of room mics kind of further back in the hall, and tried to keep everything as kind of spaced as possible, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Just to really capture the whole sound, and it sounded incredible. Like, I genuinely just couldn't believe. Straight away, I was just like, this is why I wanted to record drums in this hall, because it's just like, fucking hell, man. Like, I didn't even really need to put any reverb on the drums or anything. It was just like a really nice ambience in the room.
That's one of the things the guys in here have been doing when possible.
Yeah.
Recording drums. Make sure nobody gets through to the back area where the studio
Yeah.
is. Open the doors to the live room.
Yeah.
And have mics out in all the corridors.
everywhere.
And you just catch this the big sound of the whole place.
Yeah, I think it's just that kind of, there's definitely something to be said for if you have the possibility to what does that even mean? If you have the ability to do that, like to really kind of put mics as far away, not obviously you're not putting them outside or anything like that, you're just like within reason, to just capture a kind of natural decay of the sound somewhere a bit further away. It just gives it that space that, yeah, it's. I mean, I think this is all probably quite obvious stuff, but
Yeah, not everybody might think. Not everybody might.
Yeah, I think
so.
you know, a lot of people kind of think just put, you know, you get your overheads.
You want to keep it,
which capture the whole thing, but
and it depends utterly on what type of music you're doing.
yeah, I mean,
Sometimes
yeah,
you want
absolutely.
everything to be so much more tight and
Yeah.
controlled, and
And you want to try and capture the click
Yeah.
of like I suppose click
Yeah.
like of like the actual sticks hitting the drums and the beat are hitting the kick drum and stuff. You know, a lot of metal music you would really want that. Like,
well,
it's,
they just trigger it all now, don't
yeah,
they?
but it's even. I always find with metal music that, I mean, it's just. I think this is one of the reasons is the kick drum doesn't sound like a kick drum. It literally just
On
sounds
certain
like,
types, yeah, I'd agree with
yeah,
you. Yeah,
like, I mean, guys like, I suppose even probably Metallica and stuff, and just to go totally like.
well,
doesn't really metal, but-
let's not talk about Metallica drum sounds, because
Well, yeah,
they're the worst in the world.
Let's just stay away. But that kind of, you know, like that, like double kick drum, like
yeah,
that's exactly what it
everything's
sounds like. It's just like someone tapping their leg, and it's like, well, what's the point? And it doesn't sound like. I feel like you're wanting to get a really beefy sound, but you're taking out all of the beef.
Mm-hmm. But then I think if you go to bands like Mastodon, I don't know if you're familiar with Mastodon.
Yeah, I know that.
Yeah, it's kind of the opposite of that. There's everything's as technically accomplished, but the sound's much more natural,
Yeah.
much more live and vibrant, and
give them a listen.
you get that. Or something like Oh Brother,
Yeah.
who are just unfucking believable.
Yeah. Wow.
And it's when they kick in, you just feel it in your chest, and you just go, Christ!
Yes, amazing. I just
But talking about like spaces for drums,
yeah.
are you familiar with And So I Watch You From Afar?
I'm not sure if I've heard.
Irish post-rock band.
Yeah, I mean, I've definitely heard of them. Yeah.
Their last album, they recorded the drums in the the Ulster Hall in Belfast.
Oh wow.
Like,
Wow.
hired out the Ulster Hall for a few days and did tracked all the drums in that massive hall.
That's the dream.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you just want to go. In fact, there's an amazing space. I'd never done drums in it, and I don't know if they would really let me, but the art club
Yes.
up on Bath Street, with the piano in there, we recorded, it was actually for a uni project at SAE. It was like you had to do a location recording kind of thing, or some in a nice space. It had to be quite a big sound. So we went in there and recorded their big grand piano in there. It was a baby grand, I think, actually. It doesn't matter. And that room is just, because it's all solid, it's just wood, and then you've got glass at the roof and stuff. So the only problem we were worried about was if it rained we only had like a 4-hour window.
Yeah.
And if it rained, then all you were going to hear in the recordings, because we wanted to set mics up quite far away, obviously, to capture that room sound. But if it had rained, which it did the day we went to see it, it was like we're not going to be able to do it. But we only had this 4-hour window because I think something like the breakfast had finished, and then the lunch. Oh no, the lunch. It doesn't really matter, does it? They were closing at a certain time anyway because it was a Monday. It was early, so we only had this time. But if you ever get a chance to just even go and ask can I go into that room and play the piano, I have no idea what the politics are like with that, but
Well,
amazing.
if you want to talk beautiful pianos, upstairs in the Merchant
Right.
Chambers, they've got a Steinway
Wow.
that was, I believe, bought for Chopin to use
Wow.
in like the 18th, 19th century. They bought, like, there was some
incredible.
fund came together, they bought two. One was for the concert hall and one was for the Merchant's set
Yeah.
of chambers, and he came and played it,
Wow.
and it's still there,
That's amazing.
and I got to have a wee tinkle on it. And
Down at the BBC, the City Halls?
No, Merchant City Chambers, upstairs, literally
Right.
in this building, 2 floors up.
Oh, wow. Oh, right, in this building?
In this building,
I
2
didn't
floors
realise.
up.
I was like thinking somewhere else. Eh?
No,
Wow.
no, in this very building.
Wow.
And it's
That's
my
amazing.
rudimentary piano,
Yeah.
which is entirely fucking rudimentary.
Oh, right, so is mine, yeah. I know how to
Sounded,
play, I know where the
sounded
notes are.
beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's the beautiful thing. Like, if you can play, like, literally a note on a piano and you're like, hey, by the way, I'm not bad at this. I might actually have a career in this here. It's, like, incredible. Like, just that sound from a real... Because I think a lot of the time these days when you play a piano, but like 99 times out of 100, it's going to be some kind of digitally, reproduced version of a piano. But
Yeah.
like that real, even like the uprights, and you go to Mitchell Library and if you go up to the stairs, there's a 4th floor or something, they've got those practice rooms. It's just like 5 piano rooms. And even just sitting playing a real piano, it's loud, but it's like, well, I'm by myself and it's, just play as loud as I want. It's amazing.
I think it's the way the keys react to your fingers.
Yeah. And sometimes you get a wee key that just, if it's not been well looked after, a wee key that sticks and it just keeps going. Like, I think actually Tommy's got an upright piano in his flat, and I think it's like the E just above middle C, so middle E probably you would call that. I don't really know. It sticks. So anytime you're playing if you're playing anything in C, chances are you're going to hit that E, and it just keeps playing for like it's just like the sustain on it. In fact, no, it doesn't even stick. It's just must be the dampener inside is like knackered. So anytime you play it, there's just full on sustain.
No matter whether you've got the sustain pedal down or not.
Like it just plays. Like the whole is. I mean, it sounds great. I suppose if anytime you just sit down, you just get this one note that rings out, and if you're in E, it's even better because then it just like you've got a bed of E sitting.
Yeah.
There. But
And then you move to E flat and it sounds fucking terrible.
yeah, exactly. No, well, yeah, there is obviously situations where I've been playing it and you do play the E and it just keeps, and you're like, oh. But yeah, you need to try to do a key change and stuff. You know that. But even I suppose like digital stuff isn't like. There's obviously contact is contact. Native Instruments. It's the best version of the stuff you're going to get probably.
Yeah.
Or it's up there anyway. And there's like an upright setting on that's like upright with overtones, and I just can't get enough of this piano sound. It sounds a bit crap when you're actually, if you're just sitting hearing it through the speakers, but in a mix, it just seems to, like, you don't really need much EQ. It doesn't really seem to intrude too much or anything. It just, we used it like loads on Tommy's record, and it just sits amazingly well with the mix, and it's got this slightly kind of jangly sound to it, but like not too much. It's a lot of sparkle, but you can take that out if you want, and even if you bring up a bit of the mids, it starts sounding a bit kind of dirty, and yeah, it's...
So who do you like
improvement.
in terms of production? Who inspires the kind of sonically?
I mean, I would hate to say it because T-Bone Burnett is like my main man. I wouldn't say that any of my records, it's going to be hard for me to get to a point where my records sound like a T-Bone Burnett production, because it's T-Bone Burnett.
And he also has access to some of the best gear available.
Yeah, I mean, he's like, you know, it's just like anytime you look up, like, you know, what did T-Bone Burnett use on this record or whatever, it's like, oh yeah, he came in, like, there's a guy, you know, obviously there's a guy in like that Gear Slits website that's just like, oh, actually he came into the place where I work, and he hired all these, or someone came in for that record and hired all these Neumann mics and stuff, and it's just all Neumann. He just absolutely loves his Neumann. I think he just loves the U47?
Yeah, we've got one of them, yeah.
Have you got one of them?
Yeah, in the studio, yeah,
wow.
we've got one.
That's amazing. I've used the U67 at SAE, and just with a valve, I used it for my major project, like for my dissertation actually. And some of the recordings, like, you know, Cameron and Henry Hawkins, he comes in, an amazing singer actually. I got him to sing a couple of extra songs that I knew I wasn't going to use for my dissertation, and I EQ'd him the other day just to kind of make them sound, just one mic, you know, sitting maybe a foot away from him, around maybe head height, or I don't really know, but it's a song by Justin Townes Earle called Mama's Eyes, and he sings it open. He's got his own version of it, and he sings it open mic, and I was like, you need to sing that for me, and I was just EQing it the other day, and those mics, it's just, you don't need to do anything to them. It's just like
beautiful.
I think I just brought up like, I don't even know what, I can't even remember, but it was like minimal, really minimal EQ on this thing, and just kind of bumped up the level a bit, and it was just so warm. It sounded like it could have been like an old record from 67.
We used the U47 for all the vocals on the EP.
Yeah, I've never actually
apart
seen one in the
the
flesh.
apart from the really, really shouty ones, we used the 7B.
Those are great makes them. Actually, I've been
fantastic.
Like every time I've got this list of like stuff that I really want from my studio.
Yeah,
and that's sitting pretty high up.
they're fantastic. They're
Nice.
great on guitar amps.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Really nice on guitar amps.
I really, talking about cheap mics earlier on, actually, I've got this amazing, but it's not amazing, but it's like a £70 ribbon mic. It's like a copy of the Cascade Fathead.
Yeah.
That, in fact, I think I might have used it in fact, I did use it on Shambles record when you were playing. But we used it on all of the electric guitar and Tommy's record as well, and it just, I don't know if it's just because it's so flat how close you can get the actual ribbon to the cab itself, or even the speaker cone, but it's it's got this beautiful crunch to it. Like, even if it's a clean sound, it just adds enough of a kind of, I don't know, just get enough of a kind of wee slight distortion, a natural distortion almost. It's not like clipping, it's just this kind of nice ribbon.
Yeah.
Sound
Well, I
to it,
think
yeah.
our guitars were too loud to risk the ribbons.
Oh yeah, so it's
We're
this,
using
of course.
Royers at the moment, ribbon mic wise. So
See, that's just like, you're talking like a different level of. My studio is humble at the minute. It's humble, but it does the job.
you know, I'm talking about all this really cool stuff. As you know, as though I'm just sitting here going, yeah, we've got this, we've got that. It belongs to the studio. Fuck all to do with me.
You have, you're close to it on a regular basis.
On a regular basis, I'm in the same building as it.
In the same vicinity, I like that. That's better. You know, that's better than, you know, I'm sitting in the same vicinity as an abundance of cheap microphones. But it's, you know, they do the job. If I use them well enough, then they should sound good. And I think Tommy's record sounds pretty great. But yeah, T-Bone Burnett, I would say, is my main man for production.
Nice.
Definitely. Although it depends really. Like, it's not really so much a specific producer. I'll just listen to a record and then think. A lot of the time, I don't know why I don't really, but I'm obsessed with this guy Gregory Alan Isakov at the minute. It's a guy my dad had been telling me about for. He's a musician, not a producer. My dad had been telling me about him for years. My dad will tell me all these different guys he's been listening to. He loves like Spotify and going on to the, you might also like bit and stuff, or artists, similar artists and stuff. And he goes on to Last FM as well and gets all the kind of. So anyway, found this guy, and he'd been saying to me for about 2 years, listen to this album, like just listen to the album and see if you like it. But he tells me about so many different guys. I'm like, I feel like every week I'm like, oh, I need to listen to that guy. And then he's like, oh no, but listen to this guy. Like, so I think around the same time it was Jason Isbell.
Yeah.
So I think it was him he was listening to. But then the next week it was listening to this Gregory Alan Isakov. So I think I heard one song on like a compilation about maybe 6 months later, and then heard another song on that I just listened to. I think and I was like, well, do you know what? I like both of those songs, and they're both on the same album. So do you know what? I'll give this album a go. And I was just, by the end of it, I was like, this is exactly what I want. I've always wanted my stuff, like my own music, to sound like. So I hope this is not really obvious once my record's finished. But like when I'm using that as a kind of template, so I'm going to try my best to look into it. But the problem is, you hear these things and you're like, that sounds amazing, that's what I want my record to sound like. But you then look into it and you realise that it's all analog, all onto tape, all in a really nice big studio
It's
somewhere.
been custom built to do exactly that.
So,
and even the mastering's analog.
Yeah, exactly. It's like everything is just this beautiful, warm. Yeah, it's just something that you can try your best to replicate through using, like I use Logic, so you can try your best to get it to sound like that, but without that actual, putting the whole thing onto tape and getting that beautiful analog, all the preamps are analog, everything, it's just, it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, well, I'm just looking at the time here, and your meter's up in like 5 minutes, so
Oh shit.
we'll wrap it up there.
Yeah.
Just with the final question, which is, what's your favourite Disney film?
Oh, Christ. That came out of nowhere.
Yeah, I don't know why I decided that was going to be the final question. I wanted there to be at least one question.
I mean, are we talking, like, is Pixar, is that, like...
Were you allowed Pixar?
You're allowed Pixar? I'm going to say Toy Story then.
Toy Story?
Toy Story.
I'm going to start making a chart of them all
and
see what everybody says.
Yeah, I might change my mind in like 10 minutes, but Toy Story was like, that was the kind of big one for me when that came out when I went to see the cinema and stuff when I was younger. So
it was such a big deal.
Yeah.
It's like,
well, it was Pixar. It was like the introduction of this new thing.
Which has gone on to just do so many wonderful things.
And it's Tom Hanks. And Tom Hanks is the greatest guy. Maybe second to Bill Murray.
Yeah, Bill Murray's Bill Murray,
though. He's a different, you can't compare anyone to Bill Murray.
No. I think at the moment we're sitting on a Little Mermaid, a Lion King, and now Toy Story. So that's good.
Yeah.
Right, Mr. Ryan Joseph Burns, thank you very much for your time. And that's it. We're done.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Hello. Hello. Hello.
Thank you for joining us once again on the HelloFi podcast. That was episode 3 with Mr. Ryan Joseph Burns. I thoroughly enjoyed that. We did geek out a bit about pedals, and that always makes me happy. So until next time, we'll see you later. Just remember to visit lofistudios.com for anything you need to know about the studio. And until then, stay lo-fi.